All right, good morning, Facebook friends. We're ready to get started with another show on why the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. We're going to talk about, well, last week I talked about exponential wealth growth. I'm going to take it to the next level. I'm going to show you something that I've never seen taught before. Now, if that confuses you, what that means basically, it's what I have learned over the last, I've been in the real estate mortgage industry a little over 40 years now, and it's things I started learning through investing and building wealth and basically building some relationships with some pretty wealthy people. But it's mostly things I've learned from my own life journey, my own life experiences, and I've never seen anyone put it together and actually teach it to people. I'm excited to share this with you because it changed my life. It's going to change your life. Now, before we get started, I want you to really powerful, but I want to make sure you do learn. So if you have a calculator, pull it out. Here's my little cell phone. Put it on calculator. Have a pen. Have a pen and a paper, because I want to walk through these numbers. We're going to go through a lot of numbers. I've organized this in a way to simplify the process. But if you're writing and following along, you're going to understand much easier. So we're going to go through that. And if you have questions, send them in, put them on the Facebook comments and that, because I want to make sure you understand this. Because what I'm about to teach you, and this may sound hard to believe, is going to change your life. And it's going to alter the course of your life. Oh, we have a giveaway, and we're giving 2 tickets to Disneyland. So when we're done with this, if you'll share this with your friends, this knowledge, those of you that share it, we're going to enter your name in a drawing. We're going to give you over the weekend to share this. And Monday morning, we'll draw the name, we'll enter everybody's name, and we'll draw the name, and we're going to have 2 tickets to Disneyland so you can go enjoy the holiday. Disneyland is just one of the most beautiful places anytime, but over the holidays, it's really incredible. And talking about the holidays, today, Christmas is basically 6 weeks away. So I've already started putting on Christmas music every day. I love Christmas. I love the Christmas music. So we're into the spirit. Now, I want to share with you, my book, Why the Rich Stay Rich and the Poor Stay Poor. The first thing I talk about is belief systems. I want to share with you a quote. Where there is no vision, there is no hope. This is a George Washington Carver quote. Where there is no vision, there is no hope. Last week we shared the slides about how 60% of the people basically have no money. 10% of the people control basically 80% of the wealth in this country. The sad part is we look at that bottom 80%, the people that are able to retire is, the number's declining more and more. This is an article from Money Magazine that I read just the other day. Now this is just one clip. What the article was how long will $1 million last? And it did it by all 50 states. Now you can see I pulled California. $1 million. Now, I also want to mention, this is if you retire today, at today's cost of living. So if you were to retire today, at let's say age 62 with $1 million, Money Magazine has done the calculation based on California's cost of living, which is the second worst in the country. The worst, the highest being, Hawaii. But you can see only one state other than Hawaii requires annual expenditure of more than $60,000, and that state is California, where retirees spend $60,877 a year to get by. You're going to run out of money in 16 years in 5 months. So if you're 62, add 16 years, you're at 78, you're dead broke. Obviously, there's 2 horrible things wrong with this. Well, I think there's 3 horrible things. What percentage of the people have $1 million? Not very many. So that's pretty discouraging. Number 2 is if you're running out of money, what are you going to do? If you live to be 88, you have to live like a miser to just try to get by. And number 3 is, what about a legacy of wealth? What about being able to help out your kids, the next generation beyond that? What I'm going to teach you today, what we're going to go through, and this is zero selling, this is 100% focused on changing your life and opening your mind to what is possible. This is why I chose this quote. When there's no vision, there is no hope. See, the reason that 60% of the people are basically broke and 80% struggle is they don't have the vision to create wealth. Because they can't see it. They don't see the path. So what we're going to go through is I'm going to teach you this path, but I want you to see it physically. There was a time when 90% of the people on this planet believed the world was flat. And why did they believe it was flat? Because we are so dependent on our eyes and what we see. If we can't see it, we don't believe it. And that's why so many of the people struggle. Today, I want to open your vision. I want you to see it. I want you to not just, because I know you're not going to believe it until you see it. And so I'm going to show you, we're going to walk through this process so that you can see it. And then we're going to expand your vision so you can see that you can be wealthy. Now, this is how exponential wealth growth works. The secret of becoming wealthy is knowing how to create exponential wealth. Exponential is mathematics of or expressed by a mathematical exponent or an exponential curve. So basically it's a process of multiplications over and over on a much larger scale. I'm going to show you exactly how that works. What this means to us financially, what it means to you, is building wealth through other people's time and money. I'm going to show you how to take $1. The key to wealth is, we're going to break it down to just $1. How many ways are you getting paid on that dollar? How much are you getting paid, and how many ways are you getting paid on that dollar? See, the average person doesn't think in those terms. What they think of is, they think in terms of linear growth. But see, anyone can build exponential wealth. The key is you got to know how to do it. So I'm going to share with you how we can do this. How many times are your dollars being multiplied? And again, it gets back to, on a dollar basis, how many times and how much are you getting paid on your dollar? So let's get into doing this analysis. So let's start off with something super simple. It's saving in the bank. Okay? So let's say you have $1. You put it in the bank. So these red chips are going to be dollars. You put it in the bank. The bank, the green chips, is what the bank's going to pay you. Now, for the most part, it's less than 1%. But for simplicity, we're going to say it's 1%. So here's a green chip. So that's the bank. Now, what's on a dollar? What's 1% of a dollar? A penny, right? That's per year. First critical point. Did you make a penny? Bank's going to pay you a penny. Did you make a penny? No, you make a penny. You went backwards because of inflation. The national inflation rate in this country is averaging around it's been bouncing between 1.5% to 2%. But that's a national number. That's not a real number in California, in particular Southern California. Property values have been appreciating about 8.5% a year over the last 6 or 7 years, every year. That's a huge number, 8.5% compared to 1.5 or 2. Rents have been going up 5 to 6%, whether you're in LA, Orange County, what city you're in. So here's my point: that 1 penny the bank pays, you might as well take it away because you're actually going backwards if your money's in the bank. So we'll leave this out, but like I said, you're actually going backwards. See, your dollars are only multiplied one time Now, the only benefit to the bank is there's no risk. You know, as long as you're under that FDIC number, there's no risk. But they don't pay you anything. So there's no way to get rich or even financially secure in the bank. All right, now let's look at where most people are saving their money. It's a 401k or IRA, where that money usually goes and gets managed and goes into the stock market. So let's take this. So here's how you get your dollar. You put it into your 401k. Now, one is stocks can go up or down. Now, this year has been a good year. Stocks historically have averaged around 8% over a long haul when you add it up. So let's say on your dollar, you get 6%. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so that's 6 cents, not $6. You got a dollar, so for every dollar you get 6 cents. Now let's say your stock gives you a dividend of 2%, so now you got 8. Okay. So now you made 8 cents on your dollar. Now, let's take a look. Your compound return, 8% for the year. Most people are happy with that. You know, I say this year has been a better year. The economy has been moving along pretty nicely. Although it looks like we're this week was a different week. So there are some dynamics in the economy that are starting to change. We'll talk about that another time. But historically, this is about where you're going to be. But here's the point. How many times are your dollars multiplied? Just twice. The first time is based on the value of the asset going up, the dividend. All right, so you got 2 times multiple. Plus you get, if it's in your IRA, you're not getting taxed on it yet. You don't get taxed on it until you pull out, and then you get your full ordinary income. Now, if it's not in an IRA, and you're putting it in the market, and you're a trader, and you're trying to get the best deals on different stocks and all that, you're going to get taxed on it, and you get your capital gains tax. But that's the next scenario. Now, do you see how this is 100% linear growth? One channel of getting paid. No good. This is 2 channels. Better, but still lousy. This is why so many people are struggling financially. Okay, all right. Now, let's compare this to investing in real estate. Close, I need more room here for our analysis. So $1, okay, the red are your dollars, right? So we have $1, let's say buys you a $10 property. The bank loans you the $9. So basically we're talking about a 10% down scenario, right? So here's your dollar. Now let's add 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now, do you see an advantage? Look at the advantage. It's 10 times greater than the other 2 scenarios. That is a huge, huge advantage. But when the bank loans you that money, whose money is it? It is your money. You get 100% of the return on that money. But it gets better. This is just the first economic benefit of real estate and the first economic benefit of exponential wealth growth. Now, real estate, over the last 50 years, has averaged appreciating in the state, now this is the whole state, 7.3%. Real estate's averaged 7.3% a year for the past 50 years. Now the last, like say 5-6 years, been better than that, been around 8.5%. This number, we're talking right now, let's say we use 3-4% number. So this is another benefit. So let's add to this your appreciation. So the point being now to the appreciation is, are we getting paid on just your dollar? No, we're getting paid on the total money, your dollar plus the bank money, okay, that So you're getting paid a return on that. Now, what I'm going to show you an analysis on that. But if we say 3%, okay, what's 3% of a dollar? 3 cents, right? So 3 cents, if you were only getting paid on your dollar, it would be better than the bank, but it wouldn't be as good as the stock market, right? So here's our 3 cents. But we're not just getting paid on our dollar. We're getting paid on the bank. So 9 plus 1 is 10. $10 times 3% is 30 cents. All right, so we've got, here's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, let's keep going. I feel like I'm in Vegas here. Although, my chips always go the other way. They go that way, they don't come this way. Alright, here we go. Alright, now let's compare. Your dollar plus the bank's 90 cents. Or sorry, $9 rather. So 1 and 9, $10 times 3%. The 3% is less than half of what is getting paid in the stock market. If we're saying 8%. But look at the difference. We got 30 cents. Now if this was 4, let's just use the last 5 years. You know, at 8.5%, this would be 85 cents. Let me show you what 85 cents looks like. So we got 50, 60, 70, 80. Let's do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is what's been going on for the last 5 years. Now you tell me. Let's walk through this again. I want to make sure you're getting this. $1. You all one. You're just your $1. Bank's $9. This is what you've made. $1 in the stock market. I just want to make sure that you can see these numbers. So can you make sure the camera, they can see this? Can they see this? Mm-hmm. Okay. $1 is getting you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cents. 8 cents. Versus 85 cents is what's been happening in the real estate world. Do you see the magnification? It's not even close. But it gets better than that. Just that is mind-blowing, right? But it gets better than that. See, real estate is the only investment where you get 5 economic benefits. Next is we get tax write-offs. So let's throw some more money in there for tax write-offs. We get rental income or cash flow from a property. I'm just going to put 1 in, because if it's your home, then you're not getting cash flow, but this raises another really critical point that you need to understand. See, real estate is different from any other investment in several ways. Again, we've talked about the 5 economic benefits, but the cash flow point, here's what is incredibly powerful and profound to understand about real estate and why it is so superior, so different and so superior than any other investment. Here's the reason. The reason is that through real estate has a utility. See, when you put this money in the stock market, what can you use your stock for? Can you live in your stock? Does it have any utility? And the answer is no. And here's the other point of the utility, and what is so important to understand, is the utility or the ability to live or rent in the property economically is completely detached from the asset, meaning the land and the house, as a value. It's a separate valuation. That is not true in the stock market. Stock goes down, your return goes down. Real estate, we saw in the greatest meltdown, property values dropped in different marketplaces, 40, 50, even as much as 60%. But guess what happened to rents? It didn't drop. Why? Because it's a separate marketplace. It's completely divorced from the asset value. It has a separate supply and demand component economically. And that's huge because of the stability of the income on the property. All right, let's move on. Principal paydown. Today, the percentage of principal reduction is greater than it's ever been. So let's put a few more on here for principal paydown. Here's the thing about principal paydown is that with interest rates today are at all-time historic low rates. Because of that, not only do we have low payments, but we've also got really maximum principal paydown. Your dollars are being multiplied. So your $1 has been multiplied in this scenario up to 14 times. Now let's compare this though to a real estate scenario. Let's say you have $25,000 that you put into your 401k or your IRA versus investing $25,000 into buying a $450,000 property. Now here's what I'm basically talking about here. This could be a 3.5% down FHA loan plus closing costs. Your multiple on your dollars. You see here we have it's a 10 to 1. Your dollar plus the bank's 9, so you're basically magnifying your dollars and you're getting a 10 to 1. In real life, on an FHA 3.5% plus closing cost, it's actually 18 to 1. You're magnifying. This is the exponential wealth factor I'm talking about. You're magnifying your $1 18 times. Now, what if the seller pays your closing costs? Or in a lot of the loans we do not have the closing costs paid by the borrower. It's a combination of seller and lender paid. So now it's just your down payment. It magnifies that number even more. This is a conservative multiple. It's much higher typically. Now let's say you got 5% in the retirement account, and this means you're basically getting a 6.5 or 7% return, and then after management fees. Versus 4% in the real estate. You can see the economic benefit. Look at how much superior it is because of the leverage factor. But now we have mortgage pay down. They get another $7,600 in wealth growth. And if it's a renter, that's even better, right? Cash flow. Now again, I'm just saying if this is on your home and there's no cash flow. But if you have money in the stock market, do you have a mortgage payment? Do you have rent payments? If you're renting, the only way not to have that house is if you're homeless. And then the tax benefit. Real estate has preferred tax status. So now we're talking about the Tax Reform Act. So we'll see where that all shakes out. But the good news is there's still going to be a write-off on property taxes and mortgage interest deduction, although it might get trimmed. But this is a big savings. Buying this property, you got $6,800 refund from the government if you don't modify your deductions, which is something you'd want to do. But you're making another $6,800. Your total return, look at the gap. 32 times more. The first year return, and I want to share with you this 5 economic benefits, okay? You look at 163%, $32,000, $2,600 a month. Over the last 5 or 6 years, these numbers are conservative because the appreciation rate, I only use 4 years, has been like 8.5. It's been dramatically superior. Now, this is one of the reports. We have created financial reports. This is our real estate forecaster report. And so we enter in the numbers showing a scenario here with a $450,000 property. So you can see the down payment, the closing costs, the total amount invested. The appreciation rate we're showing there is 4%. And as we go down return on investment, that you can see, and this is over the total term of the ownership of the properties, the 30 years, the compounded return over the full 30 years. This is our analysis, so it can show you how the market value of the property goes up, how your loan balance goes down, how your equity grows, and look at these compounded returns. 163%. Now you can see the compounded return is declining as the years go by because of the leverage factor, meaning the amount of leverage you have on the bank, where we talked about it was, here it was like 10 to 1, it's actually like 18 to 1 or so. If you're looking at a typical FHA, if you don't have the closing costs, it's more like 30 to 1. So as that gradually declines, you're going to see instead of this bank number is going to get smaller and smaller, so your compounded return level is going to drop. But it still blows away every other investment easily. Now here are the 10 challenges of investing. See, my point to bringing this up is, does this mean investing in real estate is a guaranteed winner? No, no investment is a guaranteed winner unless you know what you're doing. I want to share with you some of the things that you need to be aware of and the expertise that's required to this concept of exponential wealth to create this superior wealth growth. Look at this. This scenario is dramatic. I mean, this is what it's like. If we were to look at this, this is the magnification process that you're looking at versus the bank, the stock market, and a typical property. But here's the risks that are associated with and the challenges and the expertise you need is, do you have enough money to invest? Well, right now, the government's got programs where you do not need virtually any money, $250, for sure under $1,000. So the point is, if you have $1,000, you can get in the game. Now, if you're only putting $1,000, in this scenario, the math we just did, you saw that we were using $25,000. Let's say we reduce that number to 1,000. These multiples get increased about 4 times greater than this. Next, where do I invest? You know, in real estate, they talk about location, location, location. When do I invest? In market timing. The numbers, as you saw, we used really conservative numbers. But if we drop the rate of return on real estate to 2-3%, when it's averaged 7.3% for the past 50 years, it still blows away the stock market and the bank. And if you look at stocks, we're starting to see a little bit of shakiness there. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens with this Tax Reform Act. Number 4, how do I create investment income? That is part of the educational process. In my book, we talk about these factors. Stability of investment income. I talked a little bit about that. The stability of investment income in real estate blows away every other investment, and here is why. I want to repeat what I said earlier. Is because there's 2 valuations. There's the value of the asset, but because real estate has a utility, that utility is completely divorced from the asset. There's no other investment like that. We learned that in 2008, 2009. My point is the stability of investment income blows away every other investment. Do you understand your investment, or is it too complex? You know, when you put money in the stock market or 401k, do you have any idea where the heck these people are investing this money? Most people don't. Unless you're telling you, I put everything in Amazon or something. How much investment income do I need? We need to do that analysis. You need to know exactly how much investment income you need. If your bills today are, let's say, $5,000 a month, we need to do the calculation to say, what does it take? Where do you need to be to create $5,000 a month? How do we get there? But if you're not going to retire for another 20 years, $5,000 is not going to be nearly enough. You're going to need to have more like $8,000 or $9,000 in investment income. The risk versus reward. What is the speed of your wealth growth? You know, we saw a lot of people lose their homes in 2008, 2009. We also saw some people that were over-leveraged. They took too great a risk because they didn't know how to manage their wealth. Number 9, how do we preserve and protect your wealth? We need to protect your wealth. It takes a lifetime to build your wealth, 1 lawsuit to wipe it out. And number 10, do you have a debt management plan? Over-leverage is no good. Personal debt is no good. We need to have those managed, and we need to have that plan. So we're going to do a quick recap. 90% of Americans rely on linear wealth growth. They're over here. It's over 90%. I'll tell you, it's depending on what community or what part of the country you're in, it's anywhere from 90 to 93% of the people who live over here. They live over here. Does that tell you? Do you understand why so many people are broke? Why 80% of the people have no wealth growth? Because they live over here. Why do they not live over here? I'm going to tell you the answer for the reason they don't live over here. It's because no one taught them this. What you're learning right now, no one had taught them this. And the other thing I'm going to share with you, you would think that realtors would know this, right? They don't know. I'm telling you, 99% of realtors don't know. Now, if you're a realtor, I want you to learn this. Go to mark1wealthacademy.com and start learning. And then we have classes. We teach agents this on a national level every Tuesday and Thursday mornings. You need to learn this for your clients, not just for your career. It's going to help your career, but your clients need to know this. Nobody's teaching this, and I don't know why. Renting is a financial disaster. 50% of the people rent. They have no net worth. They're completely out of the game. They're not getting. If you're renting, you have to live over here. Most renters live over here. You can become rich through exponential wealth growth in real estate. You need less than $1,000 to get started. Here's what you need to get started. If you got $1,000, you got a FICO score above about 640, and if you make about $60,000 a year or more, whether that's as an individual or a couple, you can get in the game and start doing this. All right. So what to do now? Here's where we go from here. I'm going to be wrapping up. Is what to do now is we need to schedule and it's free, your financial freedom analysis. Now, to do this financially, you go to my website, markprater.com, and register. This is our 800 number, the 866-849-MARK. Here's what the financial freedom analysis is. It is a custom analysis to you and your life circumstance. Where are you right now? Meaning, do you rent or do you own? What is your bills? From housing to your car payments, all lifestyle issues. Your food, your total monthly expenses. That's the first part. What do you have going out? The second part is what do you have coming in? Meaning, what do you have saved in the bank? What do you have saved in your 401k? Do you have any other investments? Financial security and wealth. There's two things that we need to have. First, you have to understand how exponential wealth growth creates. Magnifying your $1 30 times, 40 times in some cases. If you're only using 1,000 to get in the game, we're magnifying your dollar like 40, 50 times. You need to understand the principles of exponential wealth growth. But here's the second thing. Is the number one financial blind spot that people have is they do not pay attention to having alternative income right now. If you don't have alternative income, here's what I say alternative income. If you are not making money, if you are not receiving income other than your job, you're doing it wrong. Let me repeat that. If you are not receiving income from any other source to help you pay your bills than your job, you are doing it wrong. This is, if you're in this box, see, this is why I hate the 401k. See, the 401k and the IRAs, you put the money in, the whole design of the program is you can't get any help till 59 and a half. Well, I'm 59 and a half now. It's a long time to 59 and a half. That's terrible. And then if you need the money, if you need some help because of whatever, a job, lab, medical, then the government pounds you with big penalties. We need to have a focus on how you're going to create alternative income now. In our freedom analysis, we're going to analyze where you are. We're going to analyze how we can get you in the direction to create alternative income ASAP, because it's going to lighten your load, it's going to make your life better right now, and then it's going to grow, and you're going to enjoy it, you're going to live on it, you're going to benefit on it as you go, and then you reach the place where you retire, and we're going to get you to a place of, you know, 8, 9, 10,000 a month in alternative income. You retire, it never runs out, and you leave this planet with, you know, $2.5, $3 million to hit those numbers. The average person in Southern California, and when I say average person, if you make more than $60,000 a year, if you make 60 to 100 grand a year, leaving a legacy of wealth of $2 million plus is very doable with an income that will never run out. Now, if you're making, you know, 100, 200 grand, we can go way bigger than those numbers and so on. But there's only one way to do it. It's understanding and applying these principles of exponential wealth growth and creating this and getting a plan. I hope this gives you the vision that you can see what is possible. This is absolutely possible. If you have a job and have decent credit, this is absolutely possible for you. $1,000 and you're off and running. So I hope you're inspired by this. I look forward to hearing from you. Serena, do you have any questions?
No questions.
Okay. If you have a question on this, you know, this is going to be out on Facebook for a while. You know, if you see this later, you can make comments, private message me, and we'll get together and talk about this. We do online consultations.
Share.
Oh, thank you, Serena. If you share today's show, share what we just reviewed, we will enter you into the drawing. 2 free tickets to Disneyland. We're going to pull the winner on Monday. Next week, we have a special guest speaker. Our special guest is Mr. Dean Tapey. He owns Pacific West. He does credit repair. You know, I had lunch with Dean the other day. Absolute expert on how to get your credit score up. So we're going to interview Dean, and we're going to talk about the different processes and how within 2-3 months your credit score can be radically improved. So if you want to learn a little bit about credit, I learned a ton from him. This is something you don't want to miss. So I hope you have a great weekend. Start playing your holiday music and get ready for Christmas. I'll see you next week. Thank you.